Hey, everybody, I am Kevin Iole. Welcome to KevinIole.com. I have to get used to saying that. My guest right now is one of the greatest fighters in the world, Max Holloway. Max will be fighting at UFC 300. Everybody's worried about a main event at UFC 300. They're wondering if Brock Lesnar's coming back, Ronda Rousey coming back, and you got this guy fighting Justin Gaethje. What else do you need? Max, how are you, my friend?
I'm good, Kevin. I'm good, Kevin. First and foremost, congrats to you. We saw the news that you was leaving you guys' old station and now you out here making your own. So congrats to you, man. Good to
Thank you,
see you
brother. I
stood in the
appreciate it.
space and I was excited to have this interview today, brother.
Thank you. I appreciate that a lot. But that I think it was October 26th, if I remember correctly, you tweeted to Justin Gaethje, and he didn't seem all that interested at the time. But from your standpoint, what do you know about how this process worked to get us to the fact that you're going to fight for the BMF title against Gaethje at UFC 300?
Our process is I just said, we saw at that time, who was it? Oliver and Islam was booked. I just came off a big win with Korean Zombie. And then uh the 45 title was booked too at the same time. So he just said he had the BMF belt, and I like options. At 45, I think so. The next step for me is back for that title. It was being undeniable. We had that third fight with Volk. Had to go. I had to fight Arnold. We did that. They gave me the fight against Korean Zombie over out in Asia, and that was a fun one. We did that, and what's next is the title shot. Was thinking they went a different way, and in this sport, having options is great. And Justin Gaethje looked like he needed a dance partner since Oliveira and Islam was booked at the time, and just throw my name in the hat. The BMF belt is great. Being right there at 55, being that 55 weight class is right there, only 10 pounds away from 45. That I can do both classes. So I'm not, I was just, why not throw my name in the hat?
Well, and if you become the BMF champ. That's a little hard to say. If you become the BMF champ, you can probably defend it, I would think, at whatever weight class you want, right? I mean, if you're the champ there, couldn't you say, hey, I want to fight at featherweight, or hey, I want to keep doing it at lightweight? I mean, it's not like a weight class championship.
Yeah, exactly. It's options. It's options, my man. It's options. So I think a lot of doors are going to get open. A lot of options are going to be open, and we see what happens. First things first. I don't like to look in the future. We did, I did. I couldn't even count how much interviews we did together, Kevin. And I said the same
Yeah.
thing. First things first is the man in front of me. I got a dangerous guy in Justin Gaethje, but we got to do that first, handle him first, and then after that, like I said, man, it's just a game of options, man. A lot of things can open up after this fight, so that's what I'm focused on. I'm focused on getting my hand raised, go out there, and shock the world, I guess.
I I don't know who I would say is the more exciting fighter, right? You or him. I mean, the two of you have been in incredible fights. Let's start just talking about the way the fight might go. And I mean, Justin obviously is a pressure fighter and dealing with that volume. And it's almost like when you watch him fight guys, they can't get their feet set and they can't throw the way they want. What do you do to kind of be able to slow that charge down and be able to kind of come back and and create your own offense?
I always the beautiful thing is we get to find out. We get to find out at UFC 300. Being on top of the UFC 300 card is huge. I've been at the company for forever, and I really wanted to be on this card. Period. So we was trying to, and I'm super excited that we got Justin for the BMF belt for it. So, at the end of the day, with his fighting style and my fighting style, we almost fight pretty similar. The only difference, I guess, a lot of people keep saying is the power 55, how hard he hits, how hard he kicks. And the beautiful thing is we get to figure out, I get to really see how hard this guy punch, how hard this guy hits come April 13. And when we get in there, if we're gonna make adjustments, we gotta make adjustments. But I think both of our fighting styles gonna complement each other. And his nickname's the highlight, and it's gonna be a fun one, I have several moments in the UFC, and I feel like we're on the cusp of seeing another moment with this fight.
I think we are too. What did you make of the fight that he won the BMF title with by kicking Dustin Poirier? You've been in there with Poirier. You know what kind of great fighter he is and how tough he is, right? You know that as well as anybody. He did a little bit different thing in there, and going with a kick to the head. What was your impression of the overall fight and specifically of the finish?
I mean, I mean, I mean, everybody talk about it. Talk about Gaethje's crazy power, and it showed in that fight, and everybody talk about his left hand, his right hand, and his leg kicks, and he just proved that the power in his leg can be to a leg kick, to a head kick, to a body kick, to whatever he seems to have. He just has a lot of power. So the only thing that I can take away is like this guy hits hard, and I'm excited for the challenge. These are the kind of fights that excite me. It's the kind of fights that want to get me going on a card that I really wanted to be a part of because I know I ain't going to be around for 400. And if I am, Kevin, please tell me to retire if you're interviewing me for a 400
I don't know if
card.
I'm going to be alive for 400, let
Yeah,
alone around for 400.
but at the end of the day, I'm just stoked for this opportunity to be here. Share the octagon with a legend like Justin Gaethje, one of the best to do it in not only his weight class in all mixed martial arts. So the honor is here, and I can't wait.
How much do you feel like a win here will kind of shake people by the neck and remind them how good you are? Because I think, you're in a weird position, right? You lost to Volkanovski in all these fights. And so, they can't really give you another fight, at least for a while. You come off Arnold Allen win, the Korean Zombie win, good things. But I think people notice those championship fights and those big ones at the numbered events. Do you feel like this is a chance for you to remind people, hey, I'm a Hall of Famer. I'm one of the greatest to ever do this as well?
I mean, yeah, for sure. Like I said, you're only as good as your last fight. And the last couple fights is great. People like to they forget. You can have fights that just erase other fights. And I think so that this is one of those fights, especially of just just how big the fight is, the card it is, the card that it's on, just the attention that this is gonna get. If I can go out
Yes.
there do something huge, make people forget. A lot of this a lot of our fans is a little like short minded, short term minded, short memory loss. So at the end of the day, it is what it is, and I'm just happy that I have this opportunity, and I get to go out there April 13th and put on a show.
You referenced earlier that you really wanted to be on this card. And, Dana said in Canada last week that, Brock Lesnar's not coming back, Ronda Rousey, Habib, none of those, veterans that people had so much respect for. They're not coming back to fight. He said, this is just going to be the deepest card of the year. And it's, there's going to be the early preliminaries. You're going to go, wow, these guys are fighting on the prelims. Is that what was attractive to you about fighting on UFC 300, the depth of the card that you're going to see?
I mean, me personally, not really. It is 300 because 300 is a big deal. Being into the 100 was a big deal. I felt like 200 was a huge deal, and I felt like at where I was in my career at the 200, I felt like I should have had a chance of maybe fighting Frankie or Aldo at that time, but things didn't happen my way. Things happen for a reason, and 300 is around, and like I said, I don't think I'm gonna be around for 400. So 300 was the card I wanted to get on just because of, they're going to, it's in Vegas.
Right.
UFC is going to bring the glitz and glamour. Last 200 card, they did the gold reveal of the canvas. I don't know
Right.
what they're going to do. Something's huge planned. And I just want to be about a part of an event that big, just because I know I ain't going to be around for the next one.
The day after UFC 200, the company was sold for what, $4+ billion. Late last year in 2023, they formed TKO with the WWE, and the UFC itself was valued at 12.9 billion. So, and like 7+ years, it had gone basically triple, right? Do you feel like that your value has tripled? Like, are you getting paid triple? Or are you, bigger now than you were in 2016 because of the growth of the company?
Yeah, I mean, I can be like anybody else that works for a company and say like we should be getting paid more, but it is what it is. At the end of the day, I feel like I'm getting good contracts. I'm doing good things. I made some good relationship with some people. Even using my following that I have, the reach that I do have to push what I want to push. So I'm pretty content on where we at, and I know I'm just glad that I'm here to be able to put on fights and do what I believe I was put on this earth to do.
Yeah, is not only to fight fights and win fights, but to put on, as Dana calls them, holy shit moments, right?
Yeah, yes, sir.
If you look back at all your fights, is there one that you're most proud of that you enjoy the best, and you tell people, "Hey, this is the one that if I could only watch one of my fights and turn the DVR and watch only one of them, which one would it be?"
You know what, the number one would be the Jose Aldo one. You know, fight the King of Rio in Rio. To have that performance of a lifetime that I did. You know, go out there, fight the King of Rio, take out the King of Rio in Rio, and you know, become the undisputed champ was that meant a lot, especially for how much to me I watched Aldo growing up, and he's a legend, and just everything that it was just a lot. It was just a lot to me. I'm still a big fan of Aldo. I still think he's the world's greatest featherweight in the world, and the number one featherweight in the world, the GOAT at featherweight. So, you know, if people had to ask me, I would say go watch the one. You know, that would be the one I'd be able to just watch and just keep nonstop watching, because it was so much more than fighting, you know. It was so much more than fighting. There's like so much emotions going to the fight, being there, and just the magnitude of the fight was huge for me.
So let's wrap with this, Max. Your division, the featherweight division, is one of the best, if not the best in the UFC, but certainly very, very deep. There's a title fight coming up next month. So I'd be remiss not to ask you how you think that fight goes. Alexander Volkanovski is fighting Ilia Topuria. Topuria is already counting the win. He updated his own Wikipedia page and put a win on there for himself. You've been in there a lot with Volkanovski. You know how dangerous Volkanovski is. How do you see that fight going? And what do you make of kind of this confidence that Ilia is showing?
I mean, the confidence is the confidence you need, man. You know, if you didn't have that confidence, then uh, you don't have you're not daring to be great. You know what I mean? And you know, some people think it's weird. Some people think it's wild. You know, some people do that have that kind of confidence behind closed doors, and some people have that kind of confidence on social media. You know, so at the end of the day, it is what it is. I'm not gonna throw nothing at the guy if that's the confidence he needs to go there, and that's the confidence you need. That's why, you know, to be in a world championship fight, to work hard to get to this point, it means a lot. And if that what it takes you to get there, then that's what it takes. You know. But at the end of the day, Volk is Volk. We'll see what happens. You know, we'll see what happens. You know, the main thing that I'm going to the fight is, as long as Volk has a healthy training camp, a great training camp, he doesn't get hurt in his training camp. You know, it's hard to bet against Volk, but you never know, man. This is mixed martial arts. It's MMA. Um, Topuria is a young dude, so we see what happens. You know, we see what happens. But a lot of guys counting Volk out because of his last fight. The only reason I think he get affected if he gets hurt in camp. But I think so. Their coaching staff with Eugene and everybody around there, they're too smart to let Volk go in there hurt. You know, so at the end of the day, you know what I mean. If I was a betting man, you know, how do you bet against Volk? But we saw more wild stuff happen in the sport in MMA.
There's no doubt about that. Well, at the end of the day, this is all the time we have. I wanted to thank you, Max. Not only one of the best fighters in the world, but one of the best guys in the sport. Always appreciate talking to you. Thank you so much for giving me your time today, and best of luck to you, my friend.
Thank you, brother. You have a good one, brother.
You too. See you soon.
Later, brother.